Welcome back, decoders, to the channel. Today is November 15th, 2025. Good to see you all today. I hope you guys are all having a great evening. And tonight's a pretty eventful night on this Saturday evening. So, as usual, we are going to dive into the coded reality in which we live. And as people start to file in here, don't forget to hit the like buttons if you enjoy the content. Thank you, Ricky Jackson, for being the first one here. I appreciate you. We'll wait a few minutes and let people get in here, and then we'll get to testing 1, 2. Having some technical difficulties. Something's going on. Now, let me know. Okay, well, keep me updated if the sound goes out again, please, because something's going on with it's acting weird. So, but like I said, just keep me updated in the chat, or I'm sure I'll know if I'm not being heard. But thank you to all the 33 of you who are in the chat. Appreciate you. Hello to Joseph Aquaviva. Much love to you, brother. Make sure you guys go sub to his channel, Joseph Aquaviva 2222. Thank you, Coffee Girl, for being here as usual. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, John. Chief Engineer, hello. YouTube is glitchy today, huh? Yeah, so far it's pretty glitchy for me. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some more people in here. We only got 33 right now still. They love that 33. But we're gonna talk about this event going on tonight. And it's obviously, we got to talk about this, right? UFC 322, right? And we know, anyone who knows anything about secret societies, occult, we know what that's about. Let me just pull that up in case there's somebody new. Skull and Bones 322. Just pull that up for any new people. Of course, again, I most of you know this, but again, Skull and Bones Order 322, based out of Yale University. George Bush was a Yale graduate, as well as his father, as well as many other prominent people, right? So is it obviously there's going to be something going down for the 322nd UFC, and let's just give an overview of what that is. This is UFC 322, with the headlining fight being Della Maddalena versus Makhachev. And I hope I'm saying that right. Again, I don't know a lot about UFC. You guys know I follow WWE, but in fact, WWE, the wrestling company, is owned by the same parent company as UFC. So it's all the same, guys. We know that. But this match is going down in New York City, right? New York City, where 9/11 happened, right? And this Skull and Bones, the president during 9/11, of course, was George W. Bush, who was a member of Skull and Bones. And so how perfect it is that UFC 322, like Skull and Bones, is going to be in New York City in Madison Square Garden. Fun fact, tomorrow night, John Cena in wrestling, remember I've been talking about his final match coming up. John Cena is going to be in Madison Square Garden in 2 nights. Let me just pull this up so I add that in here. So look at this, November 17th, John Cena's last time ever. They're calling this John Cena's last time ever on Monday Night Raw. It's going to be at Madison Square Garden, and this is coming 2 nights after UFC 322 in Madison Square Garden, right? What a coincidence. What a coincidence, huh? That John Cena just 2 nights after is going to be in the same arena. And remember, John Cena's retiring on the 13th next month, Taylor Swift's birthday. So we're going to talk a little bit more about John Cena at the end, but this is mainly going to be, to start, we're going to talk about this fight, and then we're going to cover some other stories going on, like Pope Leo receiving a New York Knicks jersey on the same day of UFC 322 in New York City. Well, who do the New York Knicks play for? Or where did the New York Knicks play? Well, it's in the name, right? New York. So here's Pope Leo getting a New York jersey from Spike Lee on the same day of UFC 322, right? So we might look into that a little bit, because this is actually a big connection to everything going on right now. So I just thought this was crazy, right? Also, breaking news right now on CNN. Well, here's the Spike Lee. He's Kate Blanchett and Spike Lee join Pope Leo, and again he gets his jersey, right? And don't the Knicks play in Madison Square Garden? Let me double check that to be sure. But I'm almost positive that the Knicks play. Do the Knicks play in Madison Square Garden? Yes. So it again, here here it is. I mean, Pope Leo gets a jersey from the New York Knicks, who play in Madison Square Garden, and tonight UFC 322 going down in Madison Square Garden, and in 2 nights John Cena is going to be having his last time ever in that arena, right? I mean, wow. Look right here. His final Raw in Madison Square Garden. I mean, this is all so perfect as usual. So yeah, let's get into the numbers real fast about this fight, and let's show how crazy this is, how it's connected. Yeah, it's like Magdalena versus Islam, right? So again, I did a video last week. Okay, we did a video, Eye to Eye podcast last week. This was my thumbnail, right? I titled this video "The Islamic Takeover," right? Remember, Mamdani, he just won the governor. He's the first Muslim governor of New York, right? And Dick Cheney died, right, who was connected to 9/11. And then we had Trump is meeting, he met with the Syrian president. And in a few days, Trump's going to be meeting with the Saudi Arabian crown prince. And remember the posters from Leave the World Behind, where there's an attack on the United States seemingly by Islamic people, right? They have Arabic on the snake thing, right? This is from the movie Leave the World Behind. And that same day, we had Sauce Gardner get traded from New York to the Colts, right? And his name was like Ahmed, which is Islam, right? And that same day, we had a plane crash in Louisville, which was flight 2976, which is the amount of people that were supposedly have died on 9/11. So again, this was last week, right? Remember, I told you guys when Mamdani was elected governor of New York, Mamdani was 1776 weeks old. And in Gematria, his name, Zoran Kwame Mamdani, equals 1776. Now, the One World Trade Center, which replaced the Twin Towers, it's 1776 tall, right? Of course, this is all about the United States, right? This is all about the United States, the Tower card, the falling of the United States, right? The Islamic takeover. Now, Mondani, again, he equals 1776. He was 1776 weeks old last week when he, and the tower is 1776 tall, right? Well, now fast forward to today and look at the guy who's fighting in New York in UFC 322. His name is Islam. His name is Islam, guys. And he's 1776 weeks old. Let that sink in for a second. Just last week, New York City got its first Muslim mayor when he was 1776 weeks old. And now a week later, a guy named Islam is fighting in New York City, and he's also 1776 weeks old, which means they were born just 9 days apart. What are the odds of that? This is what I mean. I don't know why that the whole world's not watching this video. Well, not the whole world, but I just don't understand. Well, first of all, the algorithm is really holding us down lately, I've noticed. And secondly, I don't know how people cannot see how improbable all this is. What are the odds? Just that alone, just the 1776. And remember, going back to John Cena, okay? How old is John Cena going to be on his last match next month, right? I told you, John Cena, Madison Square Garden in 2 nights, 2 nights after this fight. John Cena is going to retire, right? His last time is now, right? And then how old is he going to be on his retirement match? Look. John Cena on his retirement match is going to be 1776 6 on his retirement match. How old is Islam in his 322 UFC 322 today? He's 1776 weeks and 6 days old. The exact same number that John Cena is going to be on his last match. Okay? So all of these things right now are pointing to the United States of America. It's all about the United States, which is why I've been telling people to watch out for the 84th anniversary of Pearl Harbor, which is when John Cena turns 1776 days old. Okay, you see it? That's how old John Cena is going to be on Pearl Harbor Day. And 6 days later, on his retirement match, he's going to be 1776 6, right? Well, again, Islam this evening on his fight is 1776 weeks and 6 days old, okay? Just like the mayor, so I was saying governor earlier, he's the mayor of New York. He was 1776 weeks old, right? So, yeah, I mean, there's just so much I just can't believe. And you have to just understand the 322, right? This is intimately connected to 9/11, which is why the new World Trade Center, the One World Trade Center, is 1776 feet tall, right? And again, this is probably one of my lowest viewed so far. I only have 86 people in here. This is one of my lowest viewed streams I think I can remember in over a year. So I don't know if people are just busy or tired of all this, but I'm trying to keep it simple so we draw more people in and wake more people up. And I think I kept it pretty simple here, right? But let's look at another interesting connection between these people, right? So, and again, Islam, okay, that's his name. He was born 41 Mercury years. Now, remember, a Mercury year is 88-day periods, right? So 41 times 88. That's how old he was on September 11, 2001, okay? He was exactly 41 Mercury. So it was his 41st Mercury birthday when the towers fell, okay? His name is Islam. Well, look at the gematria of Mercury, 41. So Mercury equals 41. He was 41 Mercury years old on 9/11. Well, this is an important number on 9/11. Why? Because look at the numerology of the date of 9/11. It was 9 plus 11 plus 20 plus 1. That's 41. Okay? So this number was manifesting on 9/11, 41 date numerology, right? And this guy turned 41 Mercury years on that day, and Mercury equals 41. Well, the president that day, a member of 322 Skull and Bones, like this guy is going to be in UFC 322, George W. Bush, right? Well, his father was the 41st president. Don't forget that. George W. Bush's father, who was also a member of Skull and Bones. But in Gematria, this is a number associated with Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones, 41, right? Like it was 41 numerology, like Mercury 41. Mercury is the trickster. The whole thing was a big trick, right? And this guy, Islam, was 41 Mercury years on that day. Okay, wow. Now, another big number with Islam, right, is the number 54. Islam equals 54 in the base cipher. 9, I is the 9th, S is the 19th, L is the 12th, A is the 1st, M is the 13th. That equals 54. Islam Makachev, I guess, was born 3,607 days before 9/11, right? That's the 504th prime number, as I wrote down here, okay? Like his name, Islam Makachev equals 504. Like in numerology, the 0 doesn't count, so 504 is like 54, right? So he was 504 prime days old. His name is Islam, which equals 54. Islam Makachev equals 54. Both ways. You spell just his first name or his first and last name. It gives you that 54, right? So this is a huge number with Islam. And look at this. This is a cipher that I haven't used a lot, but it's a cipher that's very relevant. This is based off of the Jewish Albam. Just go look it up on the Gematria Wikipedia site. It talks about the Albam cipher, okay? It's basically splitting the alphabet in half. So A is the 14th, and then you split it in half. I can show you real fast. But this is a cipher that was brought to me by a decoder named Wes Skeptical on YouTube, and he has been using it, and it's been very relevant. So I started using it. Here's how it works. The alphabet is split in half and reversed. So instead of A being 1, it's 14, right? And then N is the first. So you're just reversing the letters, right? So this is the Albam cipher. This is a Jewish practice, Albam. Just look it up. It's something that the Jewish Gematria uses. Now, in English Albam, look at this, guys. The guy who's fighting in the headline of UFC 322, look at his name, guys. Jack Della Maddalena equals 322. Is that a coincidence? Or is that proof that this cipher is relevant? Let me know in the chat, guys. Does this right here prove that this cipher has something to it? How could it not? Is it a coincidence that the headliner, the champion going into UFC 322, is Jack Della Maddalena, which equals 322? Okay? Wow. And again, I explained to you what this cipher is and why it's relevant. Jack Della Maddalena 322. Okay, he's in 322. I mean, you can't get any more perfect than that. Now, look at this guy. We've already connected Islam. Remember, he was, his name, he's 76 weeks old. But how about Jack Maddalena? When was he born? Look at the birthday of Jack Maddalena. Jack Maddalena was born on September 10th. Guys, what happened this year on September 10th? Is it a coincidence that Charlie Kirk was just shot this year on September 10th, and now the UFC fighter in the UFC 322 is born on September 10th? Also, look at the lunation, the moon lunation. Remember, a moon lunation is a counting of the new moons since 1923. Look at the number lunation Jack Della Maddalena was born in. Not only was he born on September 10th, the lunation when he was born was 9/11. Look, wow. I'll make it bigger so you guys can see it. Hold on. This is the lunation that Madalena was born in right here, 9/11. Okay? September 10th. He's born September 10th, one day before 9/11, and he's born in lunation 9/11. Wow. So again, I'm showing you things. I'm trying to show people that there are ways that we do this stuff. The lunations matter, right? The moon lunations matter. The Mercury years matter. I've proved it 100,000 times. I don't know how much more I can prove it, but there's not a coincidence that this guy was born in lunation 9/11, right? And this ties to his opponent, who obviously he's going to be fighting in New York against Islam, right? And Islam, right after Mamdani, becomes the mayor, okay? Who is also, and guys, like his name equals 1776, Mamdani. He was elected when he was 1776 weeks old. I mean, no coincidence. So there's that. Jack Della Maddalena 322. He's in UFC 322, born in lunation 9/11 on 9/10. Charlie Kirk was just shot this year on September 10th. And notice that the day he was born, Maddalena, it was a Tuesday. Well, September 11th happened on a Tuesday, which is the day of war, right? Mars. So that's even connected. But look at this. So these two fighters that are fighting tonight are born 4 years and 319 days apart. Well, the 319 stands out because today, the day that they're fighting, is the 319th day of the year. So the fighters are born 319 days apart, and now they're going to be fighting on the 319th day of the year, okay, which is today, November 15th. So that's interesting. But this is even more interesting. These guys were born 254 weeks apart, okay? 254 weeks in 2 days, right? Palindrome. 254 weeks apart. Why is that an important number? Well, Jack Maddalena was born on the 254th day of the year. He was born in a leap year, so September 10th fell on the 254th day of the year. Well, as I showed here, September 11th, 2001, it was not a leap year, so it was the 254th day of the year. So September 11th, 2001, 254th day of the year, the fighter Jack Maddalena, born on the 254th day of the year. 254 weeks apart from his opponent tonight, okay? And this all connects to 9/11, okay? That was the day 9/11 happened, the 254th day. So again, what are the chances that these two fighters are born that many weeks apart to go with that number, okay? And again, there's a lot more we could look at. Like if we go and look at the card, there's a guy named, let me see if I can find the, so a lot of these fights have already taken place. And for those who know a lot more about UFC fighting than me, you guys might be able to add stuff here. But the point is that I was decoding the main event, right? Which is the Islam versus Jack, right? But there's a guy named Carlos, right? Carlos. Well, Carlos is a form of Charles. And how many times have I talked this year about the name Carlos and Charlie and Charles and Caroline and Carol, all forms of Charles, right? So, of course, there's a guy at the fight tonight named Carlos. And look when he's born, guys. The Carlos in the show tonight is born in 1993. Again, Carlos means Charlie or Charles. He's born in 1993. Who else was born in 1993? Oh, yeah, that's right. Charlie Kirk. Charles Kirk was born the same year as this guy. In fact, let's do a quick date measurement. Let's see how many days Charlie Kirk and this Carlos guy were born apart. Carlos, he was born what? August 17th? August 17, 1993. Charlie Kirk, born. Oh, look at that, guys. He's born. So this Charles, this Carlos, he's born 1 month and 27 days before Charlie Kirk. Well, that's an interesting number because 127 is the date we're looking at right this year when the United States turns 9/11/01 days old. And 127 on 9/11, buildings 1, 2, and 7 fell. On Pearl Harbor in 1941, that was the date 12/7, right? So this is a huge number. And it's also the 31st prime number, which is the 11th prime number. And Charlie Kirk died at 31. So yeah, I mean, Charlie Kirk died at 31, guys. This guy's born 1 month and 27 days before Charlie Kirk. That's the 31st prime. His name is Carlos, which is Charlie. Okay. So again, I could probably go through this whole card and find something, of course, but I just wanted to keep it at that, right, tonight. But if anyone in the chat knows anything about UFC and has anything interesting to share, please let me know if I'm missing anything big in these other matches. I'm kind of just looking to see. I mean, this guy has some interesting numbers already. 360, like full circle. 369. I mean, I could say a lot about that. 117 is an interesting number as well. And look, let's see what his actual name is. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Isn't this the gematria of turning point? Hold on. Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, it's not the perfect match, but his name does equal turning point, which of course is Charlie Kirk's thing. But well, it's got the 177 like Jesuit order. It's a huge number. The 147, it's also a huge number. But again, the point of this is, what are the chances that this Islam guy is going to be 1776 weeks old, just like Mamdani was when he was elected? This is all happening in New York City. Again, where the tower that stands there is 1776 feet tall. And again, Madison Square Garden, it's going to be the place of all these things going down. John Cena, who's also going to be 1776 weeks and 6 days, 17776 days old on his retirement next month. And again, the last time is now, guys. We've been talking about that for a while. And what does that mean? What's really about to happen? What are they telling us is almost over, right? So now we got to talk about something else that happened, right? Something else that broke today, news, right? Her name is Elizabeth Franz. So the death was reported today, but she died on November 4th. Now, who was elected mayor on November 4th? The guy I was just talking about, Mamdani. Mamdani was elected mayor of New York on November 4th. Well, on November 4th that day, this woman died. Elizabeth Jean Frankovich, who goes by the name Franz. Now, what's Franz? Franz is Frank, okay? Charlie Kirk was shot. You guys remember, what's the guy's name? Now I can't remember. Duval. Not Robert Duvall. Frank the Rabbit. James Duval. Why am I forgetting that? Because, okay, remember, this was the first thing I told you guys. This was the first thing I brought up the day that Charlie Kirk died. This was the first thing I talked about. I talked about James Duval, the actor who plays Frank in Donnie Darko, who gets shot, right? Look at his birthday, September 10th. Okay, who else is born September 10th? The guy who's fighting tonight, Jack Della Maddalena. who equals 322. He's born September 10th. Frank the Rabbit from Donnie Darko, the actor, born the same day, not the same exact day, he's born many years before, but he's born September 10th. Okay? Charlie Kirk was shot on Frank the Rabbit. Now, the day that Jack Madalena is fighting, who's born on September 10th, we get the news of Elizabeth Jean Frankovich. Elizabeth, look when she's born, 1941. How old was she? She was 84. Raise your hand in the chat if you guys remember my video from last week about all the 84-year-olds that were dying, and I said, who's next? In fact, let me just go to my slides and show you the video where I asked you guys. I said 84, right? Here's the video. Here's the thumbnail. I asked you guys in that video, who's next? Look, I said RIP, anyone who's 84, okay? And this was after 4 different people died connected to the number 84. First, it was Bob Trumpy, who wore the number 84. And then it was Dick Cheney. Then it was the former commissioner of the NFL, Tagliabue. And then it was this woman. I can't even remember her name now. Somebody says in the chat that 12 times 7 is 84. How did I not even think of that? 12 times 7 is 84. Guys, 12 times 7 is 84. This is big. This is big. There's 84 in the chat right now. Look at my chat. I got 84 in the chat. Are you kidding me? This always happens. Every stream it happens. Now it's up to 92, but it was at 84. 12/7, guys. The date I'm looking at. 12/7. Pearl Harbor. Again, let's reiterate this so that people get this in their heads. Pearl Harbor. Let me let this load first. It doesn't seem to want to be loading. There it goes. Pearl Harbor turns 84 on December 7th, which is the same day that America turns 9/11/01 days old. And why do you think we have all these 1776? Remember, that's 3 people now. How old is John Cena going to be on December 7th? He's going to be 1776 days old, okay? All this 1776 stuff, all this 84 stuff, it all points to this. And now we just find out that 12 times 7, which is the date of the 84th anniversary of Pearl Harbor, 12 times 7 is 84. Now, Pope Leo just received a New York Knicks jersey. Let me just bring that back up. Pope Leo, New York Knicks jersey. He just received it today, right? Pope Leo. Whoops. Now, in gematria, Pope Leo equals 84. Okay? Pay attention to this, guys. This is big. I'm about to show you another huge piece that what I just put together with the 84s. Wait till you see this. So Pope Leo equals 84, right? How many days is the 84th anniversary after the first American Pope's birthday? Let's look. Let's look. So his birthday is September 14th. How many days is Pearl Harbor Day? How many days, guys? Look. Are you kidding me? I need to do a whole video just on all these 84s and make slides so people can see how improbable this is. Pope Leo equals 84. And he's the first American Pope, which means he's the first Pope from the United States of America, which equals 84, right? United States of America equals 84. Pearl Harbor Day is on 12/7. 12 times 7 is 84. This year, Pearl Harbor turns 84 on the same day that 9/11, that the United States turns 9/11/01, okay? And you're telling me that on top of all that, the newest pope who just got elected this year, it will be 84 days after his first birthday as the pope, and he's the first American pope. And again, United States of America equals 84. You can't tell me that this day's not big. I don't care if something doesn't happen on this day. I don't even need anything to happen. This whole thing is connected to all these events, right? Yeah, the Lions played the Bears on the Pope's birthday this year, which was 84 days. Again, and on top of all that, Pope Leo equals 84. Okay? What? It's 84 days after his birthday. And 12 times 7 is 84. Guys, what is 6 times 14? Let me show you. Trump's birthday, right? 6 times 14. Trump's birthday is 84. 6 times 14. Just like December 7th is 84. Now, we can't forget Obama, who's born on 8/4, who did the movie about the Islamic takeover, and he released it on December 8th, which is one day after December 7th. So Trump's birthday, 6/14, 6 times 4 is 6 times 14 is 84. Pope Leo is the 14th, right? He's born on 9/14, which is the inversion, 9 upside down of the 6, right? And again, December 7th, 12 times 7 is 84. Oh, man. And again, that's too much to line up. That's way, way, way too perfect. Just this alone, guys, just it being 9/11/01 days after the United States was founded, just that by itself is just mind-blowing. But then you find out that it's Pearl Harbor Day, it's the 84th anniversary, it's 84 days after Pope Leo's birthday, which equals 84. United States of America, 84. 12 times 7 is 84. Trump's birthday, our current president, is 6 times 14, which is 84. Obama, the president who made the Leave the World Behind, his birthday is 84. How much more can I say? But that's not even it, guys. Why are all these people dying at 84? Look, how many is that now? Is it telling us something? Because I would question it more if there wasn't all these people dying at 84. But we keep getting all these people dying right before this. Let's count them. Again, Trumpy died, and he wore 84, right? Then Cheney died. He was 84. Tagliabue, 84. Kirkland, that's what her name was. Elizabeth Kirkland died. She was 84. And now Elizabeth Frank, like Frank the Rabbit in Donnie Darko, gets shot. Her name is Elizabeth. This happened after the birthday of King Charles. Yesterday was the birthday of King Charles, right? Now, what happened? What happened on Charles' birthday yesterday? Look at this event in TNA Wrestling. Look at what it's called, guys. Turning Point. Oh, isn't that the name of Charlie Kirk's company? Huh. And remember how Charlie Kirk was connected to King Charles? And now on King Charles' birthday yesterday, there was a show called Turning Point. And let me show you what happened on this show. They're literally replaying Charlie Kirk in wrestling right now. You guys have no idea how wild it is what they're doing in wrestling. They had a show called Turning Point on King Charles' birthday. Look at this. What happened at Turning Point? A guy named Frankie became the new champion. First time in his whole career. His name is Frankie. And today we just got news that a woman named Frankovich died at 84. Well, on the show Turning Point last night, Frankie, let me show you what happened. Let me try to get the news article up. Frankie Kazarian, King's speech. Look at this. I can't help but think this is all connected to Garo. Okay, you know why this is so crazy? You guys know Garo from Jurassic Liars, and yes, I give him all the credit for the 8-4. He says Trump's going to get shot on Obama's birthday in Ohio on 8-4. Kazarian is a name from Armenia. Jurassic Liars is Armenian. He talks about 8-4 and Trump getting shot. This all started with a guy named Trumpy from Ohio that has an 84. This is exactly Jurassic Liars predictions. And then after this happens, we get all these people dying at 84, including what does Kazarian mean, guys? Is there another Kazarian that I'm not aware of? I think some of you guys know something I don't. What's with his last name Kazarian? Well, I know it's a name from Armenia, again, which is where Jurassic Liars is from. But look what happened. Look at the storyline. Carlos. Guys, what was I just telling you about? Carlos is Charles. Carlos Silva announces investigation into WWE NXT wrestlers showing up on 11/13 TNA. Frankie Kazarian is included in the investigation. Okay? And look at what he was doing. Here's Carlos confronting Frankie. Remember, Frank means Francis, which means free man. Carlos means Charles, which means free man. So these two guys in the ring both mean free man. Charles and Francis have the same meaning, okay? That's why you're seeing the two names coming up so prevalently, because Frankie, Frank, Francis, Charles, Carlos, Charlie, all mean the same thing, okay? So here you have Charlie or Carlos versus Frankie or Francis, right? That's what these two guys mean. Now, he's investigating this guy. This guy was giving a king's speech on King Charles' birthday. Look, let me just read it. TNA Wrestling presented Turning Point. Guys, we just had all this stuff with Charlie Kirk. And now the name of their show with Charlie, this guy's basically name is Charlie right here, and it's called Turning Point, and it's on King Charles' birthday. The pre-show, TNA World Champion Frankie Kazarian hosting the King's speech. Are you kidding me? There's a guy hosting a King's speech on King Charles' birthday. What a coincidence. And he's talking to a guy whose name means Charles. Oh, what a coincidence, guys. What a coincidence. Just another one. Okay? During it, he asked TNA President Carlos, or Charlie, Silva to come to the ring. Silva broke the news that TNA is launching an investigation into the circumstances that led Kazarian becoming champion. Guys, what is going on here? Are they telling us that there's going to be an investigation into somebody becoming like a president? Because look, it says TNA President Carlos, Charlie, is launching an investigation into the circumstances that led to Frank Kazarian becoming the king, right? Frankie Kazarian calls himself, look at what Shawn Michaels posted, a very famous wrestler. He said, I'm looking into it. Turning Point. Okay? And The Rock's daughter, who's in part of wrestling too, her name is Ava. She said, I had nothing to do with this. Now, this is all crazy, guys. This was an invasion. There was an attack on TNA by another group. You guys get it? A terrorist attack, an attack on somebody, right? And then they're investigating it, right? back in the ring. So there was a match going on between Kazarian and the former champion Santana. Santana means saint. Okay? Like Charlie Kirk was made into a saint after he was got. But look at this. Kazarian came into the ring and he had something called a call your shot. So how did Frankie Kazarian win his championship on November 13th? He did it by doing something called call your shot. Guys, Charlie Kirk was shot, right? During Turning Point. This show was called Turning Point. And this guy's name is Frankie. And Charlie Kirk was shot on Frank the Rabbit's birthday from Donnie Darko. Okay? Like it's just always never ending, you know, like. And then this woman dies named Frankovich. And remember, the last name of Erica Kirk, her original last name is Franz. The same thing, guys. Where was Franz born? Ohio. Again, Ohio. Erica Kirk, her last name is Franz. This woman, where's this woman that just died at 84? Where was she born? Ohio. So another death from Ohio connected to Frank. Jurassic always says, yeah, I know Franz means Frank. It all means Frank. It's all the same etymology, guys. Franz, Frank, Frankie, whatever. Francis. But look at this. The name of the show was Turning Point. And there was another wrestler on this show who fought. And look at what his name was. AJ Francis. Another France or Frank. He was on the same show as Kazarian, Frankie Kazarian, right? And let me just pull up Frankie Kazarian. Look when Frankie Kazarian was born. Okay, this is what brings it all together. Look at the date Frankie Kazarian was born. 8/4. Are you guys mind blown yet? Please drop some mind blowns in the chat. I just connected all this stuff perfectly, and don't tell me I didn't. It's not my ego saying, I'm just saying thank God for the vision to see these things. Glory to God for the vision that we can see through these things. And let's just wake some people up, man. He was born on 8/4. This guy. I just went all the way back around. I showed you how it all connected. And what's the day the guy was born? August 4th. This is the day that Jurassic Liars says that Frank will get his shot in Ohio. Okay? And all this is happening when the woman is from Ohio. First of all, this woman who just died, and then Erica Kirk, right? Franz, same name. And then again, once we go back to this event, it was called Turning Point, and it featured Charlie and Frankie. Again, both of those names mean free man. It's all about freedom. What's the United States all about? The United States of America is supposedly about freedom, right? Which is not true, right? But that's supposedly what it's built on is freedom. So why do all these names that are prevalent right now, they all mean free man, right? Remember in the World Series when the Dodgers just won a few weeks back, the star player of the Dodgers is named Charles Freeman. Freddie Charles Freeman, and he's got 2 Freemans in his name. So anyway, I saw this today and I about lost it because I was like, are you kidding me? The guy's giving a king's speech on King Charles' birthday. His name's Frankie. And Charles Kirk got shot on Frankie the Rabbit's birthday. And then with all the 84s going on, the guy that won is born on August 4th. So this is the guy. And you know, want to know why this is so important, guys? Why is Frankie Kazarian so important? Because he's been part of TNA Let me see if I can find this. Frankie Kazarian, he's been part of wrestling for, well, if you watch the video, if you watch the video of him coming out, it says he's been in TNA, he's been part of the company for 8,199 days. And in those whole 8,199 days, he never won a championship. So why did they just give him the championship now? Why did they wait 8,199 days on this very moment in the perfect time to give this guy his spotlight? Why now? Just ask yourselves that. Okay? It's not like he's been champion 100 times and now he just won it again. No. This is a long time in the making, okay? His real name is Gerdelman, which I just can't help think is German. I'm pretty sure that's a German name. But yeah, let me look at the gematria of Frankie Kazarian, because well, the first thing I see is it equals Chicago, Illinois. I can never spell Illinois on my first try. I don't know why. But look at how his name, Frankie Kazarian, equals Chicago, Illinois. Well, Chicago, Illinois, who is based out of Chicago, Illinois? You guys know, right? Who was based out of Chicago, Illinois, who was born on August 4th, the same day that Frankie Kazarian was born? You see how perfect it is? Look. It all goes back to Obama. I guess that's the point, right? The guy has Obama's birthday. Obama was from Chicago. That's where he based out of. Frankie Kazarian, the guy's name equals Chicago, Illinois in 3 ciphers. Now, who else was from Chicago? The Pope. Wait, but who else was from Chicago? Charlie Kirk. You see what I mean? All 3 of these people, Charlie Kirk, Pope Leo, Obama, all from Chicago. And again, that's what that's the birthday that he shares. Wait, how many years after Obama was he born? Hold on. It's 16 years, right? But this is also going, again, with Jurassic Liars. Jurassic Liars talks... Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you guys know Jurassic Liars predictions. He talks about Elvis, Seattle on June 11th. He talks about Trump getting shot on 8/4 in Ohio, right? Well, Elvis died in 1977. Frankie Kazarian was born on August 4th, just days before Elvis died. Okay, so I cannot help but give Jurassic Liars his props. The dude knows what he's talking about, because all this is perfectly lining up with what he talks about. Like, not what I talk about, what he talks about. I didn't come up with any of that. He did. And all this stuff that's happening right now is pointing to what he talked about. So I got to give him his props. And glory to God for God giving him his vision as well, right? Got to give God the glory at the top. But he's seeing something, because this is all pointing to the same theme that he talks about. And no one can deny that. If you guys know his information, you know that this is all perfectly aligning with him. And again, I told you this guy's name is Kazarian. How often do you hear that name? And again, let me just look it up, because I wanted you guys to be sure that this is definitely tied to Jurassic Liars. Kazarian, name origin. The surname Kazarian is Armenian. And just go to Jurassic Liars channel, and he'll tell you he's Armenian. I mean, is that a coincidence? The guy that's connected, he's born on 8/4, Frankie, like Frank the Rabbit gets shot. Trump is Frank in 8/4 in the year Elvis died, and this guy's name is Kazarian, which is Garo. He's Armenian. Like, You cannot tell me that this is not connected to Garo. Like, I'm sorry. It's obviously connected to this, all this, what he talks about. Like, there's no doubt. Right? So, again, we had a little bit of a fight early this year, and I held nothing against him. I have nothing against Garo because I know his information is on point, and I'm here to like tell you that he's got something going right here. Like, everything lines up. Okay? It has everything that you could ask for with this Elvis, Trump, and Obama thing. It's all there. It all connects back to the Donnie Darko thing with Frank, right? But yeah, how many years was Frankie Kazarian born after Obama? It's 16 years, right? Just doing simple math. Well, how about that, guys? Frankie Kazarian was born on August 4th, exactly 192 months after Obama. Look, what's Obama equal? Guys, Obama equals 192. Frankie Kazarian, born on Obama's birthday, 192 months apart. Where's Joseph at? Joseph needs to do a whole decode on Frankie Kazarian. Because obviously this guy is like, this Frankie Kazarian guy is obviously has something to do with Obama and Trump. But, I mean, look. Like, let's look at his full name, Gematria. $191. That's interesting. Because that's assassination equals 191. 101. The 124 has been prominent recently. The guy's German though. I think he's German. Oh, interesting. His name equals Echo and the Bunnymen. Echo and the Bunnymen did the song for Donnie Darko. Oh man. Yeah, I mean, his Frankie Kazarian. Frankie Kazarian is the name, that gematria that stands out the most. It's got the Chicago connection. Yeah, Leave the World Behind 192. This is all connected to Leave the World Behind. Because, again, I started out this decode talking about the Islamic stuff in that movie. And remember, when Mamdani was selected, it was November 4th, right? And Obama was also selected on November 4th. And Obama, again, shout out to Joseph, and I don't remember who originally found this, but if you go from the Church of Satan being founded, and again, this is not my find, this is from Joseph, and I think someone else shared this with him possibly. But if you go to the day that Obama was selected as the day he won the election, check this out. If you do a date measurement, if you go from again, let me reiterate, from the Church of Satan founded to Obama being selected, look at this. Obama was selected 6 years, 66 months, 666 weeks, and 6,666 days. You guys see that? This is from the Church of Satan, which of course is all about the 6, right? But if you go 6 years, 66 months, 666 days, or weeks, 6,666 days, it lands on November 4th, the day Obama won the election. Okay? And remember, Obama, you type in Barack Hussein Obama, right? And you look at the 4 base ciphers, right? and you add all these up, right? 163, 64. So if you take Obama's full name and you add all the gematria values in the base 4 ciphers, Barack Hussein Obama equals 163, 64, 323, 116. It sums to 666. And again, thanks to Joseph finding this, Obama was born 6 years, 66 months, 666 weeks, he wasn't born. He was selected president. 6 years, 66 months, 666. I can't do that. You guys get what I mean. I can't keep saying that. It's hard. But yeah, that's wild. And the fact that his name in the base ciphers sums to 666, right? Like, again, his totals, right? Again, if you take his totals, you guys get what I mean, right? I don't need to explain it anymore. Yeah, I don't know. It's just wild. But again, this all goes back to the 8-4. Again, the Pope Leo, United States of America equals 84. And again, thank you to all the contributions tonight, because you guys, somebody said that 12 times 7 is 84. I totally missed that the whole time, and that's a huge piece, man. It's a huge piece of the puzzle. Wait, yeah, I remember that. A 666 lotto ticket win in Chicago on Obama's election day. Yeah, there's that too. Is that true? I remember that. But yeah, thank you to Madison. It was the day after the election. Okay, yeah, I thought it was like around the time. It was the day after the election. I know Joseph would know. Again, go subscribe to Joseph, guys. He's the one that covers Obama more than I do. But again, can't deny what Joseph shows. Can't deny what Garo shows either. Both these guys are onto something. So shout out to all the great decoders out there, guys. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Garo. Shout out to Derek. Shout out to Rambo, AJ, all my decoders, Widow's Son, Sean. All of them are doing their own specific things, and they're all knocking it out of the park. Let's put it that way. Everyone has their own purpose in this. I'm doing my thing, right? And I feel like I'm doing a good job, right? Shout out to Adam the Illusion. Yeah, don't forget Adam the Illusion. But every one of these decoders in the community is doing what they are what God is calling them to do. And that is what we need them doing, right? We can't all be doing the same thing. We need to be helping each other, but we all have our own things to do. We all have our own niches, right? So it's important that we work together and we help each other out and we build each other up when we we just need to build each other up. I don't know if you guys saw, but I posted a song today that I wrote. Did anyone see that? Raise your hand in the chat if you guys saw my song I posted today. I don't leave it up for long because you could still watch it, but it's not listed. But this channel is not really a music channel, so I don't want to just leave it up on my channel, but I like to post it because I wanted to post something uplifting, and God had a lyric in my head last night. So this is what I did, guys. I was a musician before I was a decoder, but I don't have instruments anymore. So the only way I can create music is by writing lyrics. And I had the AI help me turn it into a beautiful song, and it turned out very well. I liked it. And then once I get my once I get my instruments when I have money someday to get instruments in a studio, when I have a studio, I'm going to have my own music. I'm going to take this music that AI has given to me, I'm gonna turn it to my own and make my own. I'm gonna like revamp it, not change it, but like I'm gonna take it and do my own, right? So wait till you guys one day you'll see my own music. You'll see me playing in a band again. Maybe I'll post a video of me in a band. Um, one day. I don't know when that will be, but the song I posted was all about, being free at last in God's embrace, right? Like getting over all these things that hold us down. Um, but yeah, the video's not up anymore, actually. Hold on a second. Just gonna I'm gonna put it back on so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. Please hit the like buttons, guys, if you're enjoying the content. Let me get this up. All right, so if I refresh the page, just a second. Huh, weird, it's not coming back up. That's super weird. It's not coming back up, guys. What is going on? Huh. Anyways, maybe I'm not going to do that. Just play it. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe as we're leaving the chat, maybe I'll play a bit of it. I don't know if I should play the whole thing. Will you guys get annoyed if I play the whole video? Anyways, I'm going to start wrapping this up because it's been already, how long has it been? An hour. Last 2 or 3 minutes. Let me know if anyone in the chat has any other additions. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes before the stream's over too. That would be great. That helps the stream get out there, guys. Hold on a second. Again, I'm a music lover and I tend to like all types of music. Man, my computer is really slow right now. Give me a second, guys, to get this figured out. Because something's going on again with my... All right, here we go. So we'll end that with this. We'll end it with a good, let's just let God's love, rule our lives, and let's have that peace, God's peace more than anything. Because in this world, there's not a lot of peace. There's a lot of people saying love, 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 but there's not a lot of actual peace in the world. So the whole point of me putting music out there is to bring people some of God's peace, because I think that's what we need more than anything. So let's do that. Let's do it. All right, guys. So I will, we'll let this play, and then after it's over, we'll say goodbye, and we'll have a good night's sleep and peaceful night's sleep, right? So let's get into it. Again, I wrote these lyrics. God inspired I wrote these lyrics in like an hour, and they were all from my heart, all from what God was putting on my heart. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Here we go.
filling up my lowly cup. When will my heart drown and my soul be taken up? It's hard to find the words to say that describe the way I feel today. But words are useless at the end of the day, when all that's left is to melt away. Into the black I fade away, into the night I liberate all the things that hold me here. Free at last, in God's embrace. At the end of my illusions, I see his light, a beacon shining in the darkest night. I'm not lost at sea anymore. I'm wrapped in love upon the shore. Shadows in my mind try to pull me back into decay, but grace is intertwined with every fear I throw away. I've wandered deserts in my chest, searching for a place to rest, but every step was just a test to lead me home where I am blessed. Into the black I fade away, into the truth I elevate all the doubts that chain me down. Free at last, in God's embrace. At the end of my illusion, I see his light, a beacon shining in the darkest night. I'm not lost at sea anymore. I'm wrapped in love upon his shore, and if the storm returns again, I'll stand up with the strength he sends. For every wound he helps to mend becomes a place where life ascends. Free at last, in God's embrace. Nothing left of my confusion, only light. A fire burning through the darkest night. I'm not drifting in the waves no more. I'm carried gentle to his shore.
All right. Thanks, guys, for listening. Appreciate all the comments in the chat. Again, the lyrics are pretty, what would be the word? I kind of wrote them based off of what I see people going through nowadays. So it's kind of like a lot of people are depressed and not at peace. So I think it's important. It's just important to do that. And again, if I could, one day you're going to see me actually playing that song with a band. Hopefully I'll play the guitar. Hopefully I'll be singing it. I don't know if my voice can go that high, but I can sing. I can play. It's not like I'm a musician just creating songs with AI out of nowhere. I'm actually a musician. I know what it's like to create songs. I've probably written about, in my life, I've probably written about 300 songs. Now, I can't write a song as fully as, I don't know how to explain it, but I've written a lot of songs. So but it's good to let your emotions out with music, especially when you're singing to God and you're really trying to let the flow to the Father. I like to say the Father, right? It's more intimate. Um and thanks to Sojourn who said that earlier, it's the Father is that's Jesus called him his Father, right? So um it's just intimate, right? And yeah. And this song, it just came from my heart. Like I said, what happens when you write these lyrics? You know, I had a little help. I had to kind of think about the outline of the song, and then I just put it together, you know. So yeah, the lyrics came from my heart, and I think God kind of inspired me to write it to not just be a channel that talks about numbers all the time, guys. I don't want to just be only. I want you guys to see my other sides. I'm a musician. God's given me a talent at music. I can write. Um, Numbers and decoding the elite is not all that there is to this world. I love to cook. I love to eat good food. I love to travel and be in places of peace where God is nature that God created that can calm you down, right? Because in this world, we're not meant to be in this chaotic. Uh, what do you want to call it, guys? We're not meant to be in this. This is not. We're not meant to be in houses made of metal and steel and stone and um we're meant to be at peace and close to God, you know? Like everything that we do, like everything that we do takes us away from where we can be closer to God, right? Think about all the prophets in the Bible. They always went to their secluded places and that's where they were trying to seek God, right? We don't find that as easily. It's not that we can't find God here, but we don't find it as easily when you're filled with a bunch of busy bees trying to make money. I mean, what's money at the end of the day? Yeah, we need it right now to stay alive, but at the end of the day, that means nothing to our spirits. So, um, yeah, I don't mean to get preachy, but um, it's just it's been on my heart. So I got to change browsers. What do you mean? Something wrong with my browser now? Let's check CNN's headlines before we get off real fast. See if anything else happened. Oh, I meant to talk about the Venezuela thing. You know how the government shutdown ended on the Jesuit leader's birthday, November 12th, and the Jesuit leader Arturo Sosa is from Venezuela, and now we have all this Venezuela stuff going on. So yeah, I mean maybe there'll be another decode this week about Venezuela. I don't know. Something going on with U.S. military has amassed more than a dozen warships and 15,000 troops in the region. Guys, I mean, is this what the December 7th is leading to? I don't know. Maybe it's going to be something with Venezuela. It seems like it's kind of building up. Venezuela Maduro denounces U.S. military drills. Yeah, you see, there's tension, so I would not be surprised if December 7th has something to do with this. Maybe not, but we'll see. Look, Michelle Obama's on the front page. Or should I say Michael? Michael. Michael Obama is on the front page. Michelle Obama says the country is not ready for a woman president. Funny, huh? Of course not, because if you become president, it won't be a woman. Isn't this not the joke, man? Like, First Lady Michelle Obama said in a recent event that the U.S. isn't ready for a woman president, pointing to former Vice President Kamala Harris' unsuccessful bid for the White House. Yeah, I don't need to say any more about this. But it's just funny this story is here now. We're just talking about Obama. Not ready for, let me see what this equals. Not ready for a woman. That's the quote. I mean, I see some things here, like 250 first day of the year. I believe that's Mary, the feast day of Mary, because that's the day that Queen Elizabeth died. And she died on 8/9, the 250 first day of the year. So it has some like the divine feminine stuff connecting to the feast day. Anyway, I didn't want to make this decode become us about Michelle Obama, but we'll pick that up another day. But thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you guys for listening to the song. I love you all, and I hope you guys all have a good night. Get a good sleep, and God bless you all. And we will see you guys in the next decode, right? Take care. God bless.